You know that moment when you're sitting alone in your car after something didn't go your way. The steering wheel feels cold under your hands, almost foreign. Your chest carries that familiar weight like a stone that's settled right behind your ribs. The silence feels heavy, broken only by the sound of your own breathing, shallow and quick. Maybe you didn't get the opportunity you wanted. Maybe someone chose someone else. Maybe you're scrolling through your phone, looking at all these people who seem to have it figured out, and that voice starts whispering, that persistent, cruel voice that says, "What do they have that I don't? Why them and not me?" You can almost feel your shoulders slumping as you hear it. You know that voice intimately. We all do. I want you to know that I see you. I see you in that car, in that moment of doubt. I see you questioning your worth, wondering if you'll ever be enough. And I'm here to tell you something that might change everything. That voice is lying to you. For over 4 decades, I've been exploring the deepest mysteries of human potential. I've dedicated my life to understanding the psychological patterns that either elevate us or keep us trapped in mediocrity. I've witnessed the profound challenges we face in personal growth, the invisible barriers we construct in our own minds. My insights come from countless conversations with people just like you, people who are searching for something more, people who are exhausted from feeling less than, people who sense there's a magnificent life waiting for them, but can't quite grasp how to claim it. What I've discovered might challenge everything you've been taught about humility, about your place in this vast, interconnected universe. But I believe you're ready to hear it. I believe you're ready because you're here, listening to these words, searching for something more than the life you've been living. The sun doesn't question whether it has the right to shine. It doesn't wake up each morning comparing its light to yesterday's dawn or tomorrow's sunset. It doesn't apologize for its brilliance or dim itself so other stars feel more comfortable. It simply rises, fully, completely, without hesitation, without asking permission. When did you stop being like the sun? When did you start believing you needed external validation to be magnificent? I want you to think back. Can you remember the first time someone made you feel like you were too much or not enough? Maybe it was a teacher who dismissed your creative ideas. Maybe it was a parent who compared you to a sibling. Maybe it was a friend who made you feel like your dreams were silly. That moment planted a seed of doubt that has been growing ever since. Today I want to share a truth that might feel uncomfortable at first, but could transform your entire existence. Act as if you are the best. Understand that no one is better than you. Before your mind jumps to thoughts of arrogance or superiority, let me be crystal clear about what I mean. I'm not asking you to become narcissistic. I'm not suggesting you look down on others or develop a sense of entitlement. I'm inviting you to remember who you truly are, a unique expression of the infinite intelligence that orchestrates this universe. You are not just another person walking this earth. You are a singular, irreplaceable manifestation of source energy itself. Think about this deeply for a moment. Right now, as you're listening to these words, I want you to place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm, that life force pulsing through you, is yours alone. In all of human history, across billions of souls who have graced this planet, there has never been another person exactly like you. Your fingerprints are unique. No one else in the entire world shares them. Your DNA is unlike anyone else's. Your precise combination of experiences, thoughts, dreams, wounds, and wisdom is absolutely one of a kind. But here's what happened to you. Somewhere along your journey, you started believing that being unique meant being different. And different, you learned, meant less than. You absorbed messages, some subtle, some painfully direct, that your quirks were flaws, that your sensitivity was weakness, that your dreams were either too big or too small or too strange for this world. I want you to understand something. Those messages were never about you. They were about the fears and limitations of the people who delivered them. When someone told you that you weren't good enough, they were speaking from their own wounds, their own sense of inadequacy. When someone made you feel small, it was because they felt small themselves. You've been carrying these borrowed beliefs for so long that they feel like truth, but they're not your truth. They never were. When a flower blooms in a garden, does it look around anxiously at the other flowers, wondering if its petals are vibrant enough? Does it apologize for its color or worry that it's taking up too much space? Of course not. It simply expresses its essence fully, without judgment, without comparison. And in that pure expression, it becomes the most beautiful version of itself possible. This is what I mean when I say act as if you are the best. I'm not asking you to live in delusion. I'm asking you to embrace truth. The truth that you are a magnificent, irreplaceable expression of life itself. You're not better than others, but you're certainly not less than others either. You're in a category of one, but I need you to understand something crucial. This isn't just about feeling good or boosting your self-esteem. When you live in constant comparison, when you believe everyone else is somehow better, you create real, measurable damage in your life. Your nervous system stays in perpetual alert mode. Right now, as you're listening to this, if you believe you're not enough, your body is producing stress hormones. Cortisol is flooding your system. Your muscles are tense. Your breathing is shallow. You're literally poisoning yourself with thoughts of inadequacy. You develop chronic anxiety that makes simple decisions feel overwhelming. Have you noticed how hard it is for you to make choices, even small ones? That's because when you don't trust your own worth, you don't trust your own judgment. Every decision becomes a test. You're afraid of failing. You lose the ability to experience joy fully. When was the last time you felt pure, unadulterated happiness without immediately thinking, "This won't last," or "I don't deserve this"? When you believe others are better than you can't fully receive the good that comes your way. You dismiss compliments automatically. Someone tells you that you did a great job, and what do you say? "Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. I just got lucky." You deflect praise like it's dangerous, because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. You feel drained after social interactions. Of course you do. You're not being yourself. You're performing. You're constantly monitoring how you're coming across, adjusting your personality to fit what you think others want. That's exhausting. I've watched brilliant people just like you, waste entire lifetimes waiting for permission to be great. I've seen incredibly talented individuals sabotage their own success because they didn't believe they deserved it. They procrastinate on their dreams, convinced someone else could do it better. They shrink in meetings even when they have valuable insights to share. They accept less in relationships because they don't believe they're worthy of more. And here's what breaks my heart. You probably think you're being humble. You think that by putting yourself down, by believing others are better, you're being a good person. But true humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less, because you're so busy authentically expressing who you are and serving the world with your unique gifts. Let me share something that might be difficult for you to hear. Every time you doubt your worth, every time you believe someone else is inherently better than you, you're essentially saying that the intelligence that created you made a mistake. You're suggesting that the same force that knows how to grow a baby from 2 cells, that heals cuts on your skin without you thinking about it, that beats your heart billions of times throughout your life, somehow got it wrong when it came to you. But that's impossible. The infinite intelligence that designed galaxies and orchestrates the delicate balance of ecosystems created you exactly as you are for a specific purpose. You are not an accident. You are not a cosmic error. You are exactly right. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there with a list of your flaws running through your mind, your mistakes, your failures, your struggles. But what about the time but I'm not good at, but I always, here's what I want you to understand. Those aren't bugs in your system. They're features. They're part of what makes you uniquely you. Every struggle you've faced has given you strength. Every mistake you've made has given you wisdom. Every wound you've carried has given you compassion. Your struggles aren't evidence of inadequacy. They're proof that you're living, growing, learning. They've given you depth and understanding that you couldn't have gained any other way. When you can embrace all of yourself, the light and the shadow, the victories and the defeats, that's when you become truly unstoppable. But this transformation requires something from you. It requires inner work. It demands that you examine the beliefs you've been carrying about yourself, about your worth, about your place in this world. And I want to help you do that right now. Take a moment. Think about the last time you felt less than. What triggered it? Was it seeing someone's success on social media? Was it a comment someone made? Was it comparing your beginning to someone else's middle? Now I want you to notice something. That feeling of inadequacy, it's not a fact. It's a learned response. And anything that's learned can be unlearned. Most of these limiting voices in your head aren't even yours. They're echoes of parents who were doing their best, but carried their own wounds. They're remnants of teachers who were overwhelmed and underpaid. They're ghosts of peers who were just as insecure as you were. Tonight, I want you to do something specific. Get a piece of paper and write down 3 thoughts that make you feel small. Write them exactly as they sound in your head. Maybe it's, I'm not smart enough. Maybe it's, I'm too sensitive. Maybe it's, I don't have what it takes. Now, next to each thought, I want you to write, says who. Because I guarantee you, if you trace that thought back to its origin, you'll find it didn't start with you. You inherited it. You absorbed it. But you don't have to keep it. Here's a secret that will change how you move through the world. How you treat yourself is exactly how you teach others to treat you. When you act as if you're valuable, others treat you as valuable. When you act as if your time is precious, others respect your time. When you act as if your dreams matter, others take your dreams seriously. But it has to start with you. You can't wait for someone else to see your worth first. You can't wait for external validation to give you permission to be magnificent. You have to claim it for yourself. Let me tell you about Sandra. She came to one of my workshops carrying a portfolio she hadn't shown anyone in years. She was a gifted artist who created these stunning paintings that captured raw human emotion in ways I'd never seen. But she kept them hidden in her basement. There are so many better artists, she told me. Who am I to think my work matters? I asked her one question. Who decided your art isn't good enough? She couldn't answer. Because no one had actually told her that. She had decided it herself, based on some imaginary standard of what real artists were like. She'd been trying to be someone else's version of good, instead of being her own version of magnificent. The world already had its Picassos and Van Goghs. What it had never had was a Sandra. What it has never had is you. What would you do if you knew beyond any shadow of doubt that you were the perfect person for every opportunity that came your way? I want you to really think about this, not in some distant future when you're ready, but right now, as you are. What would you create if you weren't worried about it being good enough? What conversations would you have if you weren't afraid of saying the wrong thing? What boundaries would you set if you believed you deserved respect? What dreams would you finally pursue if you knew you were capable? The life you're living right now, and I want you to really hear this, is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. This isn't mystical thinking or New Age philosophy. This is practical neuroscience. When you believe you're not enough, your brain literally filters out opportunities. It dismisses possibilities. It keeps you safe in your small, familiar world. But when you change your self-concept, you literally rewire your brain. New neural pathways form. Old patterns of self-doubt weaken. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that decides what you notice, starts showing you evidence of your capability instead of your limitations. When you change how you see yourself, you change how you behave. When someone believes they're valuable, they don't accept disrespect. They don't settle for less. They don't apologize for taking up space. And when you change your behavior, you change your results. But you must be willing to release the old story. And I know that's scary. That story of not being enough, it's familiar. It's comfortable in its discomfort. It's kept you safe from rejection, from failure, from disappointment. But it's also kept you safe from joy, from success, from living the life you were meant to live. You must be willing to step into the fullness of who you are, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Because here's what I've learned. The people who truly love you want you to shine. They want to see you happy, fulfilled, living your purpose. Those who want you to stay small are dealing with their own insecurities. Their discomfort with your brightness is about them, not you. You're not responsible for managing other people's insecurities. Let me say that again because I know you need to hear it. You are not responsible for making yourself smaller so others feel bigger. Your only responsibility is to be authentically, unapologetically, magnificently you. I know what you're thinking right now, but what if I try this and fail? What if I act as if I'm the best and people think I'm arrogant? What if I shine my light and someone tries to dim it? Here's what I want you to understand. The alternative is far worse. The alternative is reaching the end of your life knowing you never gave yourself a chance. The alternative is wondering what could have been if you just believed in yourself. The alternative is passing on your insecurities to your children, your loved ones, perpetuating a cycle of smallness that never needed to exist. When you truly act as if you are the best version of yourself, something beautiful happens. You give others permission to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible when someone stops playing small and starts expressing their authentic magnificence. Think about the people who have inspired you most in your life. Were they the ones who hid their gifts? Were they the ones who constantly put themselves down? Or were they the ones who owned their worth, who shared their talents freely, who showed you what it looked like to live fully? This is how we change the world. Not by competing with each other, not by trying to prove we're better than others, but by each of us becoming the fullest expression of who we are. When everyone operates from their highest potential, we create a world that works for everyone. Tomorrow morning, I want you to try something. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before you start listing all the things you need to do, before that critical voice starts its daily assault, I want you to look in the mirror. Really look at yourself. Place your hand on your heart and feel it beating. That heart doesn't question whether it's good enough. It doesn't compare itself to other hearts. It simply beats faithfully, perfectly, because it knows its purpose. You have a purpose too. You have gifts that only you can give, perspectives that only you can share, love that only you can offer. Say to yourself, I am the best version of me that has ever existed. No one is better equipped to live my life than I am. No one is more qualified to share my gifts than I am. I am exactly who I'm meant to be. I know it might feel strange at first. That critical voice might try to argue. Let it. Thank it for trying to protect you, and then choose to believe something different. Choose to believe the truth. You see, acting as if you're the best isn't about ego. It's about finally accepting the truth of who you are. It's about stopping the exhausting game of comparison and stepping into your own unique brilliance. It's about recognizing that you're not in competition with anyone because you're in a category of one. Every single day, you make choices based on who you believe you are. When you believe you're not enough, you choose jobs that don't fulfill you, relationships that don't honor you, dreams that don't excite you. But when you believe you're the best version of you, you make choices that align with your true worth. You apply for that position, even if you don't meet every qualifications. You share your ideas in meetings. You set boundaries in your relationships. You pursue your passions without apology. You stop waiting for permission. This isn't about becoming someone different. This is about finally becoming who you've always been, beneath the layers of doubt and fear. This is about remembering the truth that got buried under years of comparison and criticism. You are not better than others, but you are not less than others either. You are the best version of you that has ever existed. Not perfect, but perfectly imperfect. Not without struggles, but beautiful in your humanity. Not without fear, but courageous enough to act despite it. You are the only you that will ever exist. In the entire history of the universe, there has never been another you. There never will be another you. That makes you not just good enough, but absolutely irreplaceable. So I want you to carry this truth with you. Write it down if you need to. Put it where you'll see it every day. Let it sink into your bones, into your cells, into the very core of who you are. Every time you choose to act as if you are the best, you heal a little piece of the world. You show someone else what's possible. You give them permission to step into their own magnificence. And slowly, choice by choice, moment by moment, we create a world where everyone remembers who they really are. The sun doesn't rise tentatively. It doesn't peek over the horizon and then retreat if clouds appear. It rises fully, brilliantly, unapologetically. It knows its job is to shine, and it does so without question, without doubt, without comparison. You are the sun in your own life. Your job is to shine. Not to outshine others, but to shine as only you can. To bring your unique light to a world that desperately needs exactly what you have to offer. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you. The real you. The you who acts as if you're the best. Because you finally understand that you are. The sun is rising. It's time for you to shine.